Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Behind me is the 2023 Honda CR-V, and I apologize for the view today because I don't have the tripod with me. I left it in my other vehicle at Home's Honda so I could take this one home overnight. But let's talk about exactly what we have here with this CR-V if it's something you want to buy. This is an EXL trim level, by the way. And don't worry, you don't have to look at my face the entire video. You're here to see the CR-V, so here it is. And for 2023 and beyond, it is focused on the hybrid powertrain. So you're going to find that the Sport or Sport Touring comes standard with the hybrid powertrain, and the hybrid powertrain models come standard all-wheel drive. And here are some of the changes that you may want to know about. The new CR-V is 1.6 inches longer in wheelbase. It has a 2.7 inch increase in overall length and a 0.4 inch uptick in width. Now, as we begin our exterior tour, I'm going to show you some video that I shot earlier of this 23 CR-V sitting next to a 22, so you can see the differences. The front end is more squared off, something that we're going to definitely see on more Honda SUVs. That started with the Honda Ridgeline truck a couple of years ago, just to give it a little bit more of an aggressive look and even a lower profile stance. So now that you've seen the front and rear views, even the side views of these models on these CR-Vs sitting next to a 2022, we'll take a better look at what we have here. A very nice large turn signal indicator right here on the front. You can see that the grille does have a bit of a different look from what we've seen in the past. Again, more squared off, because before, remember, it was sloped back just a little bit. And you have an air curtain right here. I don't know how well you can see through there on the image that I'm giving you on the screen, but that does go all the way through. That's going to contribute to great gas mileage, even if you don't have the hybrid powertrain. This is the EXL, so obviously not hybrid. Now, one thing I want to point out here, there are some accessories on this model, one of which you might see right up here that, well, doesn't necessarily give the CR-V the best look that it's capable of having, but this vent visor, I guess that's what you'd call that, or but this piece right here is not standard equipment. So if you look at that and say, man, that's not very good looking, don't worry about it. That's something that the dealership actually added after this model came in. And to cover a couple of questions I know a lot of you like to have answered, here is what the remote looks like for 2023. Right there is going to be remote start, and yes, you will find turn signal indicators built in to these power adjustable but manually folding side view mirrors. And you do have Honda sensing here, which is going to be your road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, all of that. And it's actually going to be found right up here with a camera system, no longer using the old radar system, in case you were wondering about that as far as the changes might go. But it is going to be a standard feature here on this model. And for those of you who watch me regularly, here's a nice little surprise. For the first time that I've ever seen on any Honda model, it now has the hydraulic struts to lift the hood. I didn't have to go looking for a prop rod here to show you what's under the hood. And being that this is not the hybrid powertrain, it is the tried and true 1.5 liter four-cylinder. It makes 190 horsepower and 179 foot-pounds of torque. It is mated to a CVT, but a well-behaved and well-mannered CVT. And the one thing I know a lot of you are going to want to know about, if I can keep from getting tongue-twisted, what about the MPGs, even though this is not the hybrid model? Well, I don't know how well you can see that on the screen right now, but it has a 28 rating for the city, 28 miles per gallon, 34 out on the highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas is what Honda says you should use per every 100 miles you drive. And to help make that easier to understand, this is a 14-gallon gas tank. This is crystal black pearl coat as the exterior color, and the interior is black. So we'll give you a quick look at that. We're going to take a closer look in just a little bit at all of that. But Homes Honda has added a few accessories to this model, including Auto Butler. And what exactly is Auto Butler? Well, it's a multi-step process that basically allows the paint to hold up longer and be protected. I won't go into great detail as to what that is and how that all works, but it is a two-step process, and it definitely does a good job of getting rid of contaminants first and then protecting second. So also, there are some accessories that Honda, or Holmes Honda, I should say, has added, including those very nice looking black wheels, also that moonroof visor, as it's actually known up there. You will also find the rear spoiler right here, or the roof spoiler, we should say. That wasn't actually on the vehicle when I first saw it, and it really does make a big difference in setting off the overall look here in the rear of the CR-V. And one other thing that I probably won't be able to show you as easily right now, but don't worry, because I already have some nighttime shots for you. The illuminated door sill, and that's not the only area of illumination on this vehicle. If you're curious about tire and wheel size, the tires are 235/60s, and that nice meaty 60 series sidewall plus the new multi-link rear suspension contribute to a nice smooth ride quality, and these are 18-inch wheels. Tell me what you think about those wheels. So let's talk a little bit about cargo capacity and towing. If you want to tow, you can tow up to 1,000 pounds, and while that's not a lot, I don't think CR-V owners are too concerned about it. Obviously, the space behind the rear seats has increased. In fact, it's by 3.1 cubic feet over the previous generation, which is not too terribly bad. And the movable floor in the rear area here can lower to expand the cargo space behind the seats when they're in their upright position to 39 cubic feet. But how about overall cargo capacity numbers? 36.6 cubic feet, and then maximized, you're looking at 76.5. And one more thing I want to point out here is the fact that you have, again, added by Holmes Honda. Look at the lighting, the illumination here in the rear cargo area. Those lights are not a standard feature, but it is something that is available in case it's something you're wanting to have on your vehicle. There is also a spare tire back here. It's underneath the floor. You might have noticed that there was no spare tire underneath the vehicle when I was showing you the undercarriage shot earlier. And looking here into the rear passenger area, we'll start with the door panel, and as you can see, you have some gloss black. If you like gloss black, well, you've got quite a bit of that back here. And the door bin, fairly deep. You could put a nice large bottle if you're a bodybuilder and you take your friends to the gym in your CR-V, which, hey, that could happen. It looked kind of funny having a bunch of big bodybuilders get out of the CR-V. You can put a blender bottle of protein powder in here and maybe even some beef jerky or protein bars behind that. So there is a reasonable amount of space there. And if you wore your friends out on their workout, the seat on the passenger side over there is a little far forward, but you can recline these seats. Check this out. Let me bring this up into the standard seating position, if I can do that one-handed. There we go. So you can kind of see that compared to the other one. I didn't push that one all the way back as I should have. And I'll show you what's here on the rear of the center console. You're going to find the dual air conditioning vents. And on the EXL trim level, no connectivity here on the rear of the console, the center console. You do have a sunroof. How many of you were hoping for a panoramic sunroof with these 23 CR-Vs? And don't worry, I didn't forget. There is a fold-down armrest and cup holder combination here from the center area of these rear seats. And a fairly similar look here on the front door for the passenger side as to what we saw in the rear. Very comfortable though, I must admit. Yeah, pretty soft right here on the armrest. And you do have stitching right here. Everything is in black. It would look nice to have that maybe in red or a different contrasting color. Tell me what you think about that. And a little more space here with the door bins in the front seats. On the EXL trim level, you will have heated and power driver and passenger seats here. Very comfortable. And you're probably starting to see the theme. We're going to see this across all new Honda models. For the most part, at least, it's going to look like the 11th generation of the Honda Civic, at least to a great degree. And we'll open up the glove box here, the gloveless glove box. I never find gloves within these glove boxes, but here is the glove box nonetheless. And before we hop into the front seat, I do want to show you something in case you're new to these Honda models. You do still have the child safety locks located here on the rear doors. So a couple of things to note. if you are going to hop into the rear seat area by yourself out in the middle of nowhere where you don't have any help, make sure that these are not activated. So if they're in the up position, as you can see right there, they're not active. If they're in the down position like that, they are active. Just so you know, because there is no child safety lock feature here on the driver's side door, even though you might come up here and look for that. I know I can't show you everything there because there is the Tom Don't Roll Down the Windows, they have just been tinted sticker, so just letting me know what to do and not do there. But you can pretty much see everything that is there. Now, we're gonna hop into the driver's seat and let you see. Hopefully you could hear that as well. So you get a little bit of welcome music, I guess you could call that, I don't know. But it is there. Here is the instrument cluster and everything that you have right there. You're going to have seat memory, by the way, 2 settings for the driver's side. That's always a benefit. And overall, there is a lot here. You've got your steering wheel mounted controls, so that's always beneficial for adaptive cruise control and then other features as well. There is that rarely used, at least here in Northwest Louisiana, blinker lever, turn signal lever. And you also have the controls for the headlights right here. If it had fog lights on the front end, that control would be right here. And one thing to note right here is your mode selector. You can see drive mode right there, so that tells you what that is. And here are your driving modes. Normal, and you can see the graphic that comes up on the screen. You also have Econ, and you also have snow. If you live in an area where it snows a lot, I would definitely recommend the all-wheel drive hybrid version, just because all-wheel drive makes a big difference in that area. And here is the infotainment screen. Very nice, very easy to use. In fact, it's really sitting up like it is to make it easier for the driver to keep their eyes on the road. If they have to look down at it, it's sitting up so high in this configuration that you can still easily see out of the windshield instead of being angled and a little bit further down like it was in previous generations. And here we go, we have our Apple CarPlay set up here. There is navigation. Now, you don't have built-in navigation here, but as long as you pair your smartphone, that's not going to be a problem. And the good thing about pairing your smartphone for 2023 on these models is it's wireless. You do not need a USB cable to connect down there to wireless, or excuse me, to pair your phone, because it is wireless. And here are your controls for your dual zone climate control. You also have the heated front seats. I mentioned that earlier. 3 different settings on that. Wireless charging for your smartphone, another 12-volt power outlet right there in addition to what we saw in the rear. And for those of you who didn't like the shifter being up here, well, guess what? It's now down here in a more conventional location, and you don't have push button shifters here. That's a good thing, because I know a lot of you don't like that. And you can turn the auto stop start feature off. There's your hill descent control. All that good stuff is there. Power parking brake, and the cup holders, as well as a fairly deep console. This little tray is removable, by the way. And we'll put the CR-V into reverse because I really like what we have here. Nothing new really, but it does look nice. The multi-view camera system, and you have a few different options here with the camera. You can have the overhead view right here. You can see you've got your sensors around the vehicle. If you want to change the brightness, there is how you do that. Very nice looking, very easy to learn. It does have the sunroof right here, like I said, and it does open, so you can push that option or that button back right there and it will open the sunroof. And one more thing that I want to do. You do have an 8-speaker audio system here. What exactly does that sound like? Well, let me give you a sample. Okay, so I don't lose you, I'm not going to do too much of that, but just so you can hear what this 8-speaker audio system sounds like, and yes, I did tune on that a little bit to make it sound better as far as within the infotainment system itself, not in the editing process here. So it sounds really good. But one thing I mentioned earlier, I talked about how this CR-V has a better ride quality than it ever has before. Let's get out on the road and talk a little bit more about that and what it's like to drive overall. Okay, I promised you a nighttime test drive, so here we go. We're going to get out on the road and do a quick test drive. And the thing I definitely have to say is the ride quality, although not bad in the past with the previous generation, the outgoing generation of the CR-V, it's really good here. It has really improved in a pretty impressive way. I noticed that as soon as I left Holmes Honda with this model last night. So that is really impressive. The steering wheel, comfortable, leather wrapped, handling is good, and the acceleration is good here. While this isn't a hybrid model, it's what they had available in inventory, and I promise we will do a hybrid model. I will feature one as soon as one is available. But you might wonder, okay, so it's 190 horsepower, 179 pounds-feet of torque. How does that get down the road? Well, it doesn't seem to have any trouble whatsoever. I've been out on some different roads over the last 24 hours roughly that I've had this CR-V, and some roads where the speed limit was 65 miles per hour, and I had absolutely no trouble getting up to that speed limit, even a little bit above. It actually runs pretty well for what it is. It's not the most powerful, obviously, that you can get, but depending on your situation, you might want the EXL like this with this turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood. In fact, tell me down in the comments what you think. Everything here, super easy to use, super easy to learn. For those of you, and there are still people out there who have never had this kind of technology before. I know I say that quite a bit, but it is true. In fact, there was somebody at the Holmes Honda dealership where I borrow these models from who had not traded a vehicle in quite a long period of time. And well, they were concerned about having to learn all this technology. But I'm sure the salesman assured them that they didn't have anything to worry about. Once they learned it, they'd be glad that they did. Overall, everything here is easy to get to. I like the fact that within the interior, everything is so simple to reach for the driver from the driver's seat. So, you really have a good, comfortable situation here as far as driving goes. Obviously, the seats are fully adjustable. And even though it's not terribly bad, actually, for a rare change, I have the heated seat going. I have it on its lowest setting right now, but I do have it on. That is very unusual for me. It's a shame it doesn't have ventilated seats, because during the middle of the day, well, ventilated seats were needed. But as you can see with these LED headlights, the lighting is good. I know it's kind of hard to really make that out most likely on the video because of the fact that we're on some fairly well lit streets that we're driving on here. But hopefully the camera is doing that justice. I don't do a lot of these nighttime test drives, but tell me what you think. Do you want to see more nighttime test drives? And I'll see what I can do to make that happen if you would like to see more of them. And in case you were wondering about the brights, well, I don't know how easy it is to tell as the cat runs across the street as I turn the brights on. I guess that was almost the start of a race for that cat or something like that. But I'm trying to give you the best view I can with the brights on. Nobody's coming in my direction, the oncoming direction, so I can get away with this for a little while. But there's without the brights, there is with the brights. Just in case you were curious, because I can almost hear some of you asking in the comments section about that very thing. Okay, hopefully I gradually brought you back to the little bit brighter scene here compared to our nighttime test drive situation. I hope you enjoyed that, but hopefully I didn't blind you with this brighter light. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Did Honda make the right changes to the 2023 CR-V? Tell me what you think and tell me why. I'm always curious to know. I gotta say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you would like to know about other vehicles you may want to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.